Do you ever feel like time is just slipping through your fingers? Do you look back at your day, your week, or even your year and wonder where it all went? If you've ever regretted wasting time, this story is for you. It might just change how you see time forever. Meet Ravi. He was brilliant, a student with a sharp mind and big dreams. He had all the potential in the world, access to great education, and supportive parents. But Ravi had one major weakness, a habit that held him back. He was a master of procrastination. His favorite phrase? "I'll do it tomorrow." While his friends were hunched over their books, studying late into the night, Ravi was lost in his phone, binge-watching shows, or just chilling. He truly believed that time would always be on his side, that tomorrow was a magical land where everything would get done. He saw his peers grinding away and thought, "Why rush? I have plenty of time." He skipped study sessions, overslept for important classes, and pushed every task to the last possible moment. He was convinced that his intelligence would be enough to carry him through. He didn't realize he was spending his most valuable asset, time, as if it were limitless. He had the intelligence, the opportunities, and the dreams. But he was missing the one ingredient that turns potential into reality: discipline. He believed time would wait for him. He was about to learn a very hard lesson. The day of the final exams arrived. A heavy silence filled the examination hall, broken only by the scratching of pens and the ticking of the clock on the wall. For Ravi, that ticking sounded like a drumbeat of doom. He stared at the question paper, his mind a complete blank. The concepts that seemed so easy just a few weeks ago now felt like a foreign language. Panic set in. He tried to recall the lectures he'd barely listened to, the chapters he'd only skimmed. But there was nothing. The hours he had wasted scrolling through his phone now flashed before his eyes. He could picture his friends, focused and prepared, while he had chosen temporary pleasure over long-term success. When the results were posted, the single sheet of paper felt heavier than a mountain. His name was on the list of students who had failed. His dreams of getting into a top university shattered into a million pieces. The look of disappointment in his parents' eyes was more painful than any scolding. They didn't yell. Their silence was much, much worse. It was a silence filled with sadness and shattered hopes. Ravi locked himself in his room, overwhelmed by a storm of frustration and regret. He finally understood the bitter, unchangeable truth. Time, once gone, never comes back. Every tomorrow he had banked on had led to this empty, painful today. Seeing Ravi so broken, his wise grandfather came to visit. He didn't lecture or scold. Instead, he sat with Ravi and told him a story. It was a parable about a powerful but careless king who ruled a vast and prosperous kingdom. This king was famous for his belief in tomorrow. When his advisors warned him of a growing threat on the border, he'd say, "We'll deal with it tomorrow." When the farmers pleaded for help with a coming drought, he'd promise, "We will look into it tomorrow." He delayed strengthening his army, repairing his fortresses, and addressing the needs of his people, always believing he had an endless supply of time. One night, while the king slept, the enemy he had ignored attacked. His unprepared army was swiftly defeated. His kingdom, once a symbol of wealth and power, fell into ruin. The king lost everything: his crown, his palace, his people's trust. He ended his days as a lonely old man, haunted by the echoes of his own words. "I'll do it tomorrow." As his grandfather finished the story, his voice was soft but firm. "The king thought he ruled time, my boy," he said, "but in truth, time ruled him. He didn't lose his kingdom in one night. He lost it piece by piece, every time he chose tomorrow over today." The story struck a deep chord within Ravi. He saw himself in the foolish king, carelessly giving away his own kingdom, the kingdom of his future. That conversation was the turning point. The very next morning, something inside Ravi shifted. He woke up before sunrise, not because an alarm forced him, but because a new purpose ignited him. He sat at his messy desk and for the first time cleared it completely. He created a schedule, breaking down his huge goals into small, manageable daily tasks. The boy who used to avoid his books now devoured them. He started studying with intense focus, not just to pass exams, but to truly understand. He even started helping his classmates, explaining concepts he had mastered. His life transformed. The lazy afternoons were replaced with productive study sessions. The late-night scrolling was replaced by early morning runs, watching the sunrise paint the sky with colors of hope. He learned that discipline wasn't a punishment. It was the ultimate freedom. It was the tool that allowed him to build the life he wanted. He finally understood that time is life itself. It's the very fabric of our existence. And when you value every single moment, you are not just managing your schedule, you are creating your destiny. Years passed. The Ravi who once failed his exams was now a successful professional, respected in his field. But his greatest success wasn't his career. It was the wisdom he had gained. He often mentored young students, sharing the story of the careless king and his own journey from procrastination to purpose. Time, he would tell them, is your most valuable treasure. It's more precious than gold, more powerful than any army. If you invest it wisely, it will yield success, happiness, and fulfillment. But if you waste it, it leads to only one thing: regret. Every second is a choice between building your future or dwelling in the past. The power to change your life doesn't lie in some distant tomorrow. It's here right now in this very moment. So I ask you again, how are you spending your time? Remember, time once lost is lost forever. Value your time. It's the currency of your life. Have you ever wished you'd used your time better? I'd love to read your story, so please share it in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else to make a change today. And if this story resonated with you, subscribe for more motivational content that can help you change your mindset and learn English in a natural, meaningful way. Thanks for watching. Make every moment count.